What's up, metalheads? This is Mr. Darkmare, here to tell you about movies, theme parks, and metal. Hello, the man got who got no name. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. And I'm in the interest of talking about metal movies and theme parks. Yes, I love theme parks much more. I'm doing good. I better start calling you like the man who got no name, okay? I've been pretty much been going to theme parks ever since. Dollywood, for example. And then you got other parks like Carowinds. Especially small time amusement parks like Twisted Railroad, Family Kingdom, NASCAR Speed Park. You know, the whole shebang and stuff. I've been pretty much going to a theme parks. Well, two of the most big theme parks in general. Especially where, it's like going to historic theme parks. You got some old time amusement parks from in the 19th century. Parks like Cedar Point, you got Jog Lake, you got Chippewa Amusement Park. You know, for those kind of classic parks. But then you got Six Flags, you got Disney, you got from other parks too. Yeah, cool and informative. My favorite theme park company is Six Flags. Now, I've never been to a Six Flags park, but I've been to a Cedar Fair park before it was merged to a Six Flags park. And that park I mentioned before was Carowinds. I've been on a roller coaster called Fury 325, front row, 7 times in one day. I heard the slogan called Feel the Sting. I felt it on the side of my stomach, and I just felt the sting. That was the best Giga Coaster I ever been on. A Giga Coaster, which is GIGA, is a coaster that goes up to 300 feet with a speed that goes up to over 90 to 100 miles per hour. But the coaster is pretty much insane in detail. If you guys new to the channel, subscribe, comment, and put a like. It really helps. Subscribe, comment, and put a like. Hello, Austin. Carowinds is such a good park. I've been on other coasters the Intimidator, Afterburn, Nighthawk, even though that one's removed. I've been on Copperhead Strike, I've been on Carolina Cyclone, Hurler, Vortex. Those coasters in front seat. Oh, and also Carolina Gold Rusher and especially the Flying Cobras, formerly known as Carolina Cobra. Watch it now, Jasmine 45. Hello, Jax. Well, I do not play instruments, but if I did play instrument, well, I used to play like guitar, but not anymore. But I do like vocals, cause like, play shower. Now, if you guys new to the channel, subscribe, comment, and put a like. It really helps. I've been thinking about like becoming like a metal singer, like a metal vocalist. I've been on like, especially some coasters. Anyways, back to the whole coaster thing. I also been on like 11 coasters, like at Dollywood. My personal favorite coaster was Wild Eagle. Front row, Avery coaster, front row. Especially like Whistle Punk Chaser. Oh, you think I didn't ride like any coaster, Honda Racer. However, I did. I've been on the coaster many times. I've been on any other coaster. I also love like any kind of coaster over in Dollywood or at Carowinds. But don't you dare say I'm no liar. Because I've been on Wild Eagle, I've been on Fury, I've been on Intimidator, I've been on like a bunch of coasters. I've been on 25. But don't you dare say I ain't no liar. Because I've been on a bunch of coasters for it. Oh, I also been on Afterburn as well. A really good invert. Pretty much like an upgraded version of Dragonfire. Especially like thrill rides too, like Barnstormer or Dropline. Drop Tower over at Carowinds, and especially Screenweaver. I just love I just love coasters so much. Now for movies on the other hand, I was actually much more keen on the like the Back to the Future films. I actually enjoy all three films, especially my favorite character is actually Doc Brown. Especially goes like, "Great Scott!" I just love those movies. The first film was actually really good. The first film's always been that good. So much so, like, you got like Marty McFly, a boy that was actually sent to the past up to like the 1950s, where he met like a past versions, like his mother, father, Doc Brown, and his father's bully, Biff. Biff Tannen. Good villain, but dumbest one out of it. Anytime like how Biff Tannen tried to take Marty's mother, Lorraine, it was actually it was so funny just to see like see Biff and get his comeuppance when he's trying to chase Marty McFly via car and hits a truck with him, hits a truck with his pals, and Minor falls on the floor. It was funny. There was this one moment where he pretty much grabbed Lorraine, which is well, for this one, Marty's father George. Well, not George, but well, when Marty's father clenched his fist and punched Biff Tannen, knocking him out instantly. That was a real good movie right there. Then you got like other parts, like you got like for this one part where Marty McFly sings a song like I forgot what it's called. It was actually like a Chuck Berry song. Until from after that, well, when he goes back to the future, the second part's pretty much more like we are not, or Dr. Brown takes Marty to the future, and then after that to the present. Well, present and past. And then after that, back to the present. Well, not to present, but to, well, pretty much like stuck in the 1950s until you got like this one guy that shows up and sends a letter to Marty. And then part 3 begins. Then Marty goes up to like in 1880s for like one town. He also met like a Biff's ancestor, Mad Dog Tannen. And for that one is actually quite ruthless, but like dumb at the same time. But man, the movie's pretty much like a really good point off from that. Especially when there was this one Seth MacFarlane film, Million Ways of Dying in the West or something, that had like a Doc Brown cameo as well. And then Doc Brown seeing this one played by Seth MacFarlane saying like, "Nothing is a science experiment. It's a word experiment." And then once that guy walks out, Doc Brown's like, "Great Scott!" It was kind of funny. It was that was a good trilogy. I also gotta give another favorite trilogy, Planet of the Apes. That 2011 film, Rise, Dawn, War, and you got like this one film that's connected to the trilogy, Kingdom. Especially for like the three films. The first one shows like Caesar, shows like beginning of Caesar, and then at the War for the Planet of the Apes, which just shows like Caesar's fall, which is the ape. All three films are not as bad. They are perfectly balanced. And then you got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I found it good. That one was actually so good for a film that was released last year. It was actually a lot more better than that Megamind versus Doom Syndicate. I played that movie for my little sister, and for that one, when I saw it, I found it just completely bad, terrible, the most stupidest film I actually ever seen. I've seen better films than like Megamind versus Doom Syndicate, but that one's actually a lot more worse than the film. Well, I've seen other worse anime films like Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return, which that one I've heard off from the Electric Dragon 505 video about like Legends of Oz. I heard it like Legends of Oz anime film is actually a scam. It is actually quite insane. And then you got like that film Food Fight. That movie was bad, real bad. Even even though it has like Christopher Lloyd, but that one was actually so bad, which I seen the entire film. I really hated it. I hated that anime film so much. Just like the Emoji Movie. I find it bland and boring. If someone made like of an Emoji Movie to be like of a Sony's own Toy Story, that's pretty much the worst aspect out of that. That's pretty much like a worst aspect for like trying to make a film based off from emojis. Now, I was never into romance films, but the only film I saw was Titanic. I actually watched it for historical reasons because, well, I was actually into the history of the Titanic when I was a kid, just like my little sister. Even went to the Titanic Museum about like 4 times. 2 times with the high school, 1 time with the family. Well, 2 times with the high school, 2 times with the family, and for been there back around in May of this year. It was such a good. It was such a good museum. Especially it's pretty much on the same day where, not the same day, but the same trip of going to like rim section on that day too. It wasn't bad. It wasn't exactly bad. I've been to like a couple of like museums and stuff, especially like of going to record stores. I bought like CDs, I bought patches, I bought like shirts, stickers. I also bought like an Iron Maiden Power Slave magnet off of this one vendor called a Shred. And I had to visit that vendor for over like 2 years now. But yeah, I haven't been there ever since. Speaking of patches, give me a second. Well, patch number 1 off around like a rhythm section. This one. This one. Morbid Angel and Death. December 2023. And then around March, this one. And then around in December 2024, this one. And then back around in August, I bought like 4 pins, the ones you pretty much like saw. The 4 pins you pretty much like saw, like Creator, Corner, Dream Feeder, and Man of War. I also went to like a flea market. Went to like for this one flea market for reasons like buying patches like this. I actually bought this patch along with 3 other patches too. With other patches like this one. Give me a second. This one. And this one. Like patches like Sepultura, Danzig, Suffocation, and Possess. Now, over at the Shred, the first kind of patches I bought well, the first one I actually bought was actually this one. And then this. Well, that actually wasn't more surprising. Well, at that one vendor, well, Ever since when they was having this one festival. I bought this one, this one, this one, and this one. $2 each for those. Compared to like of like this one, $7, and this one just $1. I actually bought these at this one vendor at the same flea market. However, the ones like along with Sepultura, Possess, and Suffocation, $5 each. All four except for one. It was a trade in Nirvana patch in favor of Overkill. I bought this one over at the for this one vendor. Well, I actually traded Nirvana patch in favor of this one. And you now know for these kind of patches. If you're asking what I'm gonna do with those patches, keep them for a collection. I got like more, but I'll save it for another time. I also buy like some other patches too, like over at Retroactive or Myrtle, or especially like some other stores too. I also buy like CDs over at the Rhythm Section or over at Cheap Frills. Mostly Cheap Frills and Rhythm Section, especially like buying CDs off of Amazon. I just love buying CDs off of Amazon, but mostly at record stores, because going inside a record store is really good. I have some good experiences of going to like record stores. I like one at Myrtle, a place called Kilgore Trout. I tried to trade 2 CDs here, even though I'm an autistic adult. I didn't have an ID. After that, well, you probably get the gist out of it. After that, I just pretty much like tried to trade like 2 CDs like Bon Jovi and Elton John, but they wouldn't take nothing out of that. So for what I did, buy a CD of Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe, and take the CDs I try to trade off with me, and just walk off the store. They have a nice patch collection, a sticker collection. They have a nice selection in that, but the only thing that was lacking of was a fresh death metal stuff. I asked the employees, saying like, do you carry any fresh death metal stuff? Like extreme metal? And the employee said this to me, the only extreme metal we have is industrial. That was actually kind of like that one experience that I actually ever had out of it. But I've been to Cheap Frills like 2 times. I haven't been there since around like last year. I bought like 6 CDs there. I've been to Rhythm Section about like 5 times. For the most CDs I've bought around like 5 times, 19. 19 CDs at Rim Section. Free for the first time, which was in background in December 2023. 4 in March. 1 in August 2024, both like March and August. 2 in December 2024, and then 9 this year, back around May. And now I've been planning like of going back to a Rim Section, planning to get some like big 4 albums like Megadeth and Anthrax, and think about getting a CD of Bathory, Bloodfire. Well, a Bathory album, which I mentioned like that Bloodfire Death album too. I enjoy like some Viking. Well, I enjoy like some like black metal stuff, but as of now, I've been enjoying like some classic thrash. I can consider like Bathory's album Bloodfire Death has some good thrash metal stuff, like Bloodfire Death album. I just love like albums and stuff. Now, at the flea market, I mentioned like buying patches, buttons, and stickers. I actually bought a hat like this too. Those a few times I actually bought a CD. The first time I bought like a Black Sabbath album for $2.55. Good deal. It was a really good deal and a good catch. And then in 2024, I bought an album of Alicia Keys' Born of the Bomb, independent, signed and autographed for $3. And I've been playing like that album a couple of times on CD. It's a good new wave thrash band, but it's a good album for sure. If you guys new to the channel, subscribe, comment, and put a like too. It really helps. I always mention this before in these live streams. Now next month will be pretty much like the final season of My Hero Academia. Now I talk about like theme parks, I talk about like movies, music. Now, well for this one, when I watch like for movies, I also watch like anime stuff too, like My Hero Academia, and that one and One Piece. So stoked about like this new One Piece episode that's coming. It'll be awesome. It'll be an awesome thing to watch. It'll be a really good episode just to watch though. 5 Elders in Egghead. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I've seen the manga chapter to it. It's such insane. Well, sorry. Also, well, last night I played a Power Trip album, Nightmare Logic. It was really good. And tonight, going to play a Sepultura album, which is Schizophrenia. I actually bought that CD back around May, along with 8 others. But yeah. Good old Sepultura. really got me into Sepultura is actually that Arise album with that song, well, the title track. Then I heard other songs like Resist, well, Refuse and Resist. Along with that, got like Territory as well, Dead Embryonic Cells, Inner Self, and More Visions. And then that song, True to Doom, both original and 1987 version. And then you got like the instrumental known as Inquisition Symphony off from Schizophrenia. I used to like the Rise album, but when I heard the album Schizophrenia, it became my personal favorite Sepultura album much more than Arise. And none of you actually ever heard of a band called Bakaloo, Bacalou. It's a good thrash metal band. I actually have their channel on my channel for like for metalheads and favorite YouTubers. Check the band. They have a good full length album too. I've been like listening to like some Metal Church. I like this one song, Hitman. Well, off of the album Metal Church, I like this one part where it goes like, "It was you, wow, 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 wow." David Williams' vocals off of that one is really good. Venom. Sawyer. Sawyer. Oh, that's all I have for talk about here on this live stream. If you're new here, subscribe, comment, and put a like. I'm actually signing off of this live stream. This is Mr. Dark Commander here to tell you long live metal and goodbye. See ya.